Welcome, Shadow Seekers, to American Shadows, Crimes and Chronicles. Today, we're unearthing a tale that'll haunt your thoughts long after it ends. Whether you're glued to the screen or just listening in, you're in for a wild ride through history's darkest corners. If you're new, hit subscribe to join our mission of exposing America's hidden truths. Regulars, your likes fuel our journey into the unknown. Now, let's peel back the layers of time and reveal the secrets beneath. Ready? Let's begin. The Forgotten Assassination: How a Madman's Bullet Changed America. Imagine a sweltering July day in 1881. The air is thick with humidity, and the streets of Washington, D.C. buzz with the usual political chatter. But on this day, July 2nd, the course of American history is about to take a dramatic turn. Picture President James Garfield, a man who rose from poverty to become the leader of our nation. He's walking through the Baltimore and Potomac Railroad station, probably thinking about the summer vacation he's about to embark on. He's unguarded, at ease. After all, who would want to harm this popular president? But lurking in the shadows is a man consumed by delusion and desperation. His name is Charles Guiteau, and he's about to become one of the most infamous figures in American history. Now, you might be wondering, who was Guiteau? He wasn't some Confederate sympathizer or a political rival. No, Guiteau was something far more unpredictable. A man driven to the brink by rejection, a failed lawyer, a failed preacher, and now, a failed office seeker. In his twisted mind, he believed he was owed a government job for his non-existent role in Garfield's election. As Garfield entered the station, Guiteau emerged from the shadows. 2 shots rang out. The first bullet grazed the president's arm, the second lodged near his spine. Garfield fell, and with him, the nation's sense of security. Chaos erupted in the station. As Guiteau was tackled and arrested, he shouted something that sent chills through everyone who heard it. "I am a stalwart of the stalwarts. Arthur is president now." He was referring to Vice President Chester A. Arthur and the bitter factionalism within the Republican Party. In that moment, a personal grievance had become a national crisis. Now, here's where the story takes an even darker turn. Garfield didn't die that day. In fact, he lingered for 80 long, agonizing days. And what happened during those 80 days is almost more shocking than the assassination attempt itself. You see, medical knowledge in 1881 was a far cry from what we have today. Garfield's doctors, though well-intentioned, did more harm than good. They repeatedly probed his wound with unsterilized fingers and instruments, searching for the bullet. They didn't understand the concept of germs or infection. Can you imagine the scene? The President of the United States, lying in agony, while doctors essentially torture him in an attempt to save his life. It's like something out of a horror story. But wait, it gets even more bizarre. Alexander Graham Bell, yes, the guy who invented the telephone, tried to help. He created a metal detector to locate the bullet inside Garfield. But here's the kicker. It didn't work because no one thought to remove the metal spring mattress Garfield was lying on. It's almost comical if it weren't so tragic. As Garfield suffered, the nation held its breath. Every day brought new headlines about the president's condition. Americans rode an emotional roller coaster, hoping and praying for recovery one day, preparing for the worst the next. Meanwhile, the government was in chaos. There were no clear rules about what to do when a president was incapacitated, but not dead. Vice President Arthur was reluctant to step in, fearing he'd be seen as a usurper. The country was essentially leaderless during a critical time. Finally, on September 19th, 1881, Garfield succumbed, not to Guiteau's bullet, but to infection caused by his doctor's unsanitary practices. A president who might have survived with modern medical care was essentially killed by the very people trying to save him. The nation mourned. Garfield, a man of humble beginnings, a scholar, a Civil War hero, had been cut down just as his presidency was beginning. People wondered what greatness America had been robbed of. But the story doesn't end with Garfield's death. Oh no, the aftermath is just as fascinating. Guiteau's trial became a media circus. Newspapers breathlessly reported every detail. Guiteau didn't help matters, acting erratically in court, trying to raise money to hire prostitutes, and even planning his own presidential campaign from jail. His behavior raised serious questions about the insanity defense, questions we're still grappling with today. Despite his antics, Guiteau was found guilty and hanged in June 1882. But his impact lived on long after he was gone. Garfield's assassination exposed the deep flaws in America's political system. The spoils system, where government jobs were handed out as rewards for political support, had indirectly led to the president's death. This realization spurred major reforms. In 1883, Congress passed the Pendleton Civil Service Reform Act. This law made it so that government jobs would be awarded based on merit, not political connections. It's a system we still use today. Every time you take a civil service exam, you can thank or blame Charles Guiteau. The assassination also led to increased security for presidents. No longer would a commander-in-chief stroll unguarded through a public place. The era of the open, accessible presidency was over. Even medical practices changed. Doctors began to take sanitation more seriously, leading to improvements that would save countless lives in the coming years. As we look back on that fateful July day, we're left to wonder, how different might America be if Garfield had lived? What path might our nation have taken under his leadership? And how many more forgotten tragedies are lurking in the shadows of our history, waiting to be brought to light? The assassination of James Garfield is more than just a footnote in history books. It's a stark reminder of how quickly fate can change a nation's course, how progress often comes at a terrible cost, and how the actions of one disturbed individual can echo through time, shaping the world we live in today. So the next time you're waiting for a train, or applying for a government job, or even just washing your hands, spare a thought for James Garfield. His tragic story might not be as well known as Lincoln's or Kennedy's, but its impact on our lives today is just as profound. This has been American Shadows, Crimes, and Chronicles, reminding you that history isn't just about the big, famous events everyone knows. Sometimes, the most important stories are the ones hiding in the shadows, waiting for us to shine a light on them.